to really kind of highlight for you guys here is what's happening in terms of the changes to the workplace and how technology can be used. Now, I want to start off with some basic kind of ideas, because the thing is that it's not, in most working environments, you're not in that cubicle. You are connected through the internet, through a computer, to often your colleagues, and you may never actually ever see your colleagues, or you might only meet with them maybe once a month, once a week, or maybe once a year. So I want to mention just, this is what Kathy Davison kind of talks about. We need to kind of work with the internet and work with ways of kind of thinking and collaborating and being able to communicate with our colleagues and finding these other connections in non-traditional manners. So I want us to kind of think about, how has the workplace changed since when you first started working? I mean, I actually remember having to write down on timesheets, when I entered in and when I left, okay? But then at another job that I got about 5 years later, I actually would have to enter it in a Google spreadsheet. So totally different way of working, but yet, the ability to be able to use technology was something that that company harnessed, and they wanted to make sure that we were working with technology. So I want to just mention that as something that, what we're using with our computers is a great way of kind of being able to access and then collaborate in new ways. So a couple of things I want to point out to you guys. Maybe you've heard about these, applications or web-based ways in which you can collaborate. How many people have worked with Google Drive at all? A few? Okay, so how would you describe Google Drive? Not to put you on the spot, but.
Place to drop your files or work on documents where you invite folks, they can work on it and add to it, or get the document to view it themselves, print it out if they need it.
Yeah, so it allows you to transfer files to another person, right? So you could share a file with them. It's some way of adding another person onto a document so they can edit it, right? Not only just access it, but actually go in and change it. So Google Drive, have you guys heard of cloud computing? And that idea of basically what you can do is you can upload to this, it's like a hard drive that's out there in the cloud, and other people can access it if you've let them, given them access to it. And then they can download it, upload other things, add further to a folder, or add other files for you to share together. So it's a great way of collaborating. And instead of it having all of the documents on your computer, you have them accessible from your phone, or from another computer in another country. So it allows ease of transport, right? And then also the ability to share things. So it's kind of like having a little hard drive that other people have access to, all of your files, if you give them access, and then you can take it anywhere too. So I highly, highly recommend it. Now, the only thing about Google Drive you have to do though, you have to have a Google account, okay? So if you don't have a Google account, today will be the day that you sign up for one, okay? Because I just want us to get in there and see what it is that you can do. And it's awesome because Google Drive is not just for collaborating in terms of sharing stuff, but you can create documents. So if you don't have Microsoft Word, you can actually create a Google document or a Google presentation. I've done those before. Or Google spreadsheets, and then you can share them and email them to other people too. So highly, highly recommend using it. But it does require having a Google account. Dropbox is another cloud computing service. But what it is kind of used for is transferring, sharing files. Okay? You can upload stuff to it. So maybe you're not using Google Docs, but you want to use Microsoft Word. And then I always like to turn them into verbs, but then you Dropbox it to another person. Okay, and so then you would share it. You would add it and give them the link, and you could even make these links public. And I've done that because I use Dropbox for putting up files, large files that I can't put on the class server space on our websites, but I can give my students the link to my Dropbox account so they can download these files. Okay, really handy. They don't even have to have a password. They just click to download it. Really nice. The next service I want to talk to you guys about is called WeTransfer. Have you guys heard about that at all? I know, I didn't know about it either. It was actually some people in France that told me about it, and I was like, ooh, cool, okay. But it's based out of Amsterdam, and it's actually really easy because what you do is literally upload the file that you want to send to another person, and then you give them their email address. So you don't have to log into Dropbox or into your Google account. If you have your computer and you're in Florida and you've got Wi-Fi, you can just, and you have the email address of the person you want to send it to, you can just go to the WeTransfer website and then upload it, and then also add in the email address, and then click send, and then that's it. It only goes up to 2 gigabytes, okay? And I should mention file sizes too. WeTransfer goes up to 2 if it's free. If you're using it as a free, you could otherwise pay for it. Dropbox is also one where you get a free service of, I think it's only like maybe 2 gigabytes too. But if you download the software and then you get your students or your friends to download the software after you've shared stuff, then you get a larger size capacity. Okay, wink, wink, that's what I've done. You can pay for services that do give you more space too on Dropbox, but something you can do. Also, WeTransfer is web-based. So you just log into the website and then you enter in. Dropbox, you have to sign in. You can download the separate software as well too. And Google Drive, you don't have to download anything. It's just through your web browser, okay? And then the last thing I want to point out is because sometimes you have docs that you need to send to people and you don't have time to upload it to Google Drive, save it as a PDF, and then share it to them. I want you guys to know about PDF Converter too. Handy option. It's more for converting those files. Not so much collaborating, but if you need to send a file to somebody and they don't have it, that Excel, they don't have Microsoft Excel and they can't open it up, then you can convert it into a PDF quickly through that website. Okay? We're sharing files, right? We're able to edit them, see when somebody else has made changes to them, but sometimes what's really helpful is to be able to chat, to talk with the people as these documents are being changed, as you're improving, working and collaborating, excuse me. So Skype is really nice. How many people know about Skype? Few? Okay, so it's also one, what you can do is you download it. You can also download it for your phone as well. There's a mobile app for it. And then you can type in the phone number of the person, or you can add their email. And if they also have a Skype account, which you can get for free, then you can talk with them. You can do video chats together for free. It's really nice, and it allows you to communicate with another person if you're in another country, but they have to have a Skype account too. Now you can pay for other ways. You can call people on their home phones, but I haven't used Skype for that. Have you guys?
I do. I like it when I have like an organization and the executive committee wants to get together without paying for the expensive company chats. And so I have the paid Skype, which allows me to talk to 5 people at one time.
People have their preferences too. By all means, FaceTime is great because if you have a phone or a Mac, then an iPhone or a Mac, then you can just connect with another contact easily. But it's good to. What I would suggest doing is just having these accounts. You may not use them immediately, but they come in handy to have them. And that's like Skype is one that I've just kept around, but I've not used it. I found other ways of communicating, especially Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
That one is new and awesome, okay? Because what you can do is you can share your screen with another person. And also I should mention, you have to have a Gmail account or Google account for this. But you can chat by typing, but you have also the video chatting, Skyping kind of capabilities. I've just used that as a verb now. But basically you can open up and turn on your webcam on your computer, and then you can be working on some documents, talking and chatting together. It's really nice, really handy. It's one that, I mean, I think it started like in 2012, but it's been kind of, for me, really nice to be able to swap screens easily to see what another person is looking at.
It will
and to
also
collaborate.
log your conversation.
Yes,
So
you
if you're
can
trying to
save it.
get an archive of what you said and what you promised you were going to deliver if you're in a meeting, it archives it all for you, which is great.
Yeah.
And in print version.
Are there any questions at all so far? So it doesn't have to be a video-to-video connection to communicate to. Another option. And you can do that in Google Hangouts. You can chat as well. So it's just typing, which goes back to the early days of typing and chatting with another person. It was AOL's Instant Messenger. That was the one, it was huge when I was a teenager. Okay, and it was still like, I was so surprised at this one job where they wanted us to get on there and start chatting with our colleagues, and I was like, really? Wow, okay. But it's still around, and it's one to have, and it connects, if you're already on Facebook, it connects with your Facebook contacts too, or your Google contacts. So it's one that is interesting to have just because you can still use it in other ways, but it's kind of one that I would say is going out of fashion. Yeah. Google Hangouts is my preference,
And
personally.
Facebook does offer FaceTime.
FaceTime too, so that's another one in which you can communicate. So moving on, other ways of communicating. Twitter too. So you could tweet, send little short messages to another person. You can also include images and video on there as well, and connecting with other colleagues. That's what I kind of want to highlight in this portion, is that it's not just having long conversations, but it's connecting and saying, I remember Aaron Phillips, okay, you're a student, you go to Washington State University, but now you're doing this, and I want to kind of find out what's going on with you. So I'm going to connect with you on Twitter. Same thing, Wendy. Okay, I want to, where's your account? Okay, what's happening with you? Okay, so it's a good way of being able to kind of keep tabs, see what other people are doing, and hear about what's going on with them. Because it might be that some people are just listing personal, here are my cat photos, or it could be interesting stuff about their accomplishments, work-related accomplishments. So highly recommend connecting with your colleagues and friends via Twitter. There's also Facebook too. So very common one that I would say, great opportunity to connect with colleagues and to share, to chat, send stuff as well, images, videos, and post stuff publicly as well. The last one is LinkedIn. Now, Twitter, I would say, let's have a scale. Let's have a spectrum here of uber professional, right? This is one work-related only, all the way to personal, right? Well, LinkedIn is more traditionally thought of as a highly professional way of connecting with other people. So I would connect with other people that go to Washington State, that have graduated there, or who have graduated from my other schools, have worked with the other companies that I've worked with, other colleagues. And it's really good for, putting up where you're at right now, what job you're working at, and then what your skills are, and then connecting so then other people can see, other companies can go on there and see, how many social marketing folks are there in Vancouver, Washington? Okay, we've got Aaron Phillips, we've got Wendy. All right, so maybe I want to contact them and find out info about them too. So on that kind of spectrum, LinkedIn is the most professional, work-related too. And I want to go on a little personal rant about LinkedIn. I think it's great. But from my end too, when you have received numerous contacts, see, it pulls in your contacts and then it starts kind of sending out spam to people. Hey, Wendy wants to connect with you on LinkedIn. And then a week later, Wendy wants to connect with you on LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, it can get annoying. So just watch out for that in their whole process. I'll point it out to you. But it's like, oh, annoying. So you might want to individually connect.
And the other problem with it is that you have to pay to get access to the people. So in other words, if you and I are, even though that you and I are connected on LinkedIn, or you and I are connected on LinkedIn, if I wanted to contact her by her email address and I don't have it, if I paid for it, it would give it to me. But without paying for it, it won't give it to me.
Yes, it's really good in terms of connecting, promoting yourself, getting yourself out there, and then connecting with your colleagues if you're looking for a job. If you've already got one, and it's good to have, I think, a free, service, but then wait until you really need it to then go out there, or if you're wanting to pick up additional jobs.
And salespeople buy it because they want access to CEO information.
That too, yeah. So it's just my personal rant. Okay, watch out for that portion when they want to connect with your email contacts, because then they spam them. Okay, but going back, Twitter is a great one to have. Have that in terms of you can put out personal stuff, you can put out work related, you can connect with colleagues that are work and personal. Highly recommend it, and the same thing with Facebook too. Yeah.
Okay, how do you connect with Twitter, and aren't there limited characters?
There are. So what you would be doing is finding people based off of their name. Like let's say I wanted to connect with Aaron Phillips. I would type in Aaron Phillips, and then I could see if he's got a profile. Now the limited characters refers to what it is that you're saying.
Do I type in Twitter? I know Facebook and I know LinkedIn, but Twitter, how do I?
We're going to do that.
Oh,
We're gonna log into all of these and just kind of go through them. I'm just giving you the overview, but I want to go in there and just talk a little bit about the interface, because today is some hands-on learning time. But I don't want to spend too much time just right now, but you're right. Limited amount of characters with what it is you can tweet.
Okay.
Now, I've got some rules now, because we're going to be playing and learning here. I want us to play. Okay, I want you to have fun. Don't worry, this is just our time to get in there and learn a little bit about what's going on. Also, I don't like freakouts, okay? I'm not showing you the interface of software that I teach to my students at Washington State University, but Aaron knows. It's very complicated. So what I always want to say is don't freak out, because it means that if you're freaking out, then you're not able to then break down and figure out, oh, what's going on here? What's going on there? You put up a wall, okay? And I want us to have fun and play, but then I want us to also think about, ooh, what does that do? Okay, I don't understand what's going on, but I'm going to just raise my hand, or I'm going to stop and think about, wait, okay, that's what's happening. Okay, now I'm figuring it out. Okay, because I want us to think about, these are the two kind of little main themes that I think will help you if you're ever, because once you're out of this little workshop, the next week you're going to be learning something else. And it could be a lot of information, but I don't want you to feel overwhelmed and then shut down all senses, because that's the worst thing that can happen, okay? So, those are my two little rules for today, okay? Play and no freakouts, okay? Because it's a lot of information and I want you to have fun today. It's a Saturday and it's sunny, okay?